Let's jump right in. In this explainer, we're unpacking a massive, really profound critique of the current economic power structures that dominate our lives. It's all about something called surveillance capitalism. To really get our heads around it, let's start with a fundamental question about the devices you and I use literally every single day.
Think about your car. Is it driving you, or is it observing you? Researchers point out that modern autonomous vehicles are packed with LiDAR and in-cabin cameras, but they're not just there to help you navigate safely. They're actually mapping our environments and tracking our attention. They're taking a regular mechanical object that just gets you from point A to point B and turning it into this massive, continuous data-generating platform.
And that brings us to a totally unprecedented economic logic. Scholar Shoshana Zuboff coined the term surveillance capitalism to describe this. She argues that this system takes our private, everyday human experiences, our commutes, our conversations, even our heartbeats, and literally claims them as free, raw material. It transforms human experience into behavioral data.
Okay, Section 1, the two capitalisms. To really understand how we got here, we need to zoom out and look impartially at how this new economic structure stacks up against the systems of the past.
And the contrast is absolutely stark. Think about industrial capitalism. It flourished by extracting raw materials from nature to completely revolutionize production, right? Well, surveillance capitalism thrives by extracting from human nature itself. It is a fundamental pivot. We've gone from revolutionizing what we make to revolutionizing what can be extracted from who we are.
Now, the entire engine of this system runs on something called behavioral surplus. Here's how it works. When you use an app or a smart device, sure, some of your data is used to make that service better for you. But the massive amount of leftover data, that surplus, isn't used to help you at all. Instead, it's hoarded, fed into machine intelligence, and claimed as proprietary material for profit. So let's trace exactly how this pipeline builds. First, companies engage in what Zuboff calls unilateral rendition. Basically, they silently capture our data without any meaningful consent. Second, this captured data goes into fabrication, fed straight into machine intelligence. Third, they fabricate prediction products. These are incredibly accurate guesses about what you're going to do next. And finally, they sell those predictions in brand new behavioral futures markets. It's wild. Businesses are literally placing bets on your future actions.
Right, moving on to Section 2, the shift to modification, automating us, because the sources highlight a pretty chilling evolution here. The tech companies eventually realized that just predicting our behavior wasn't enough to guarantee the best financial outcomes. They needed total certainty. To guarantee those sales, the tracking gets absurdly specific. Check out this incredibly vivid example from the source data dumps. We see extreme e-commerce targeting, where aggressive web trackers push a luxury item, like Bulgari cologne, deep inside a Japanese hardware and DIY site. I mean, why on earth is high-end cologne on a hardware site? Because it follows the user across completely unrelated contexts, creating a deep behavioral profile designed to trigger a purchase, no matter where you happen to be on the web.
So the really crucial takeaway here is that features marketed to us as helpful personalization are so often just camouflage. They're aggressive extraction operations, mechanisms carefully designed to nudge, coax, and engineer our behavior toward highly profitable commercial outcomes. It's no longer just about automating information flows. It's literally about automating us.
And guys, this goes way beyond just targeted ads. Researchers detail how firms like HiQ scour the web and social media to analyze a worker's psychological data across 12 different categories of needs. They process all of this just to hand employers a predictive flight risk score. This enables preemptive HR termination. They can literally fire someone before the employee has even made the conscious decision to quit.
Which brings us to Section 3, Instrumentarian Power, the new puppet master. Zuboff identifies this system as an entirely new species of power. She calls it instrumentarianism, and it's a type of power that entirely bypasses human awareness and our individual right to make choices.
If we look at this side by side, the distinction is super clear. Where 20th century totalitarianism used violence and terror to possess the soul and demand devotion, instrumentarianism doesn't care about your soul. It just uses automated digital architecture to achieve total market certainty through behavioral modification. It absolutely does not care what you think or what you believe. It only cares about what you do and whether that action is accessible and measurable.
The text calls this state radical indifference. It is essentially observation without a witness. We are being monitored continuously, but these impenetrable automated systems just view us as organisms responding to stimuli. They are radically indifferent to our actual human meaning, our personal struggles, or the context of our lives.
And make no mistake, this surveillance architecture has a measurable, chilling effect on society. Look at this data. Researchers like Rosso and colleagues found empirical evidence showing objective internet search behaviors, especially sensitive queries, drop significantly. If you compare the pre-Snowden revelations baseline to the post-Snowden reality, the drop is undeniable once people actually became conscious of this massive surveillance.
But you know what's fascinating? Despite knowing all this, we often play a psychological game with ourselves. The researchers call it self-negotiation. We actively downplay our own privacy concerns just to get that immediate technological gratification. We trade our privacy to use a car's autopilot or a smart speaker in our living room, and manufacturers absolutely know this, and they actively exploit that dynamic to keep the data pipeline flowing.
Let's look at Section 4, Reclaiming Digital Sovereignty. This really is the core warning of today's explainer. It's about how these systems are reshaping our social democracy and exactly what we stand to lose if we just sit back and do nothing.
The sources issue a stark warning. We are quietly losing elemental human rights that form the very bedrock of our individual autonomy. On one side, we have the right to sanctuary, that fundamental ability to have a private inner life where we can just be ourselves without being rendered into data. And on the other side, the right to the future tense, our absolute freedom and free will to make autonomous choices and promises about our own futures, rather than having our futures engineered for us by an algorithm.
But wait, resistance is absolutely possible. The explainer highlights the Spanish fight for the right to be forgotten. In this landmark case, everyday citizens bravely pushed back against tech giant monopolies. They successfully clawed back their future from the self-proclaimed inevitability of indifferent capital. They proved that these massive extraction systems are not an unstoppable force of nature.
I really love this quote from the text. Technological inevitability is as light as democracy is heavy, as temporary as the scent of rose petals. This micro-story brilliantly illustrates such a powerful truth. The rules of surveillance capitalism were made by humans, which means they can absolutely be unmade and remade by democratic processes and binding regulations. Tech giants want us to think their dominance is inevitable, but democratic action carries way more weight.
So I'm going to leave you with this really provocative thought from the source material. As we continue to embrace the incredible convenience of our digital age, are we unknowingly surrendering our digital sovereignty? If the legacy of industrial capitalism is a threatened planet, what legacy will surveillance capitalism leave for our humanity? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and remember to keep questioning the technology around you.